Because anywhere you pull up to, guess what? You're the one everyone's expecting to tip everyone. You're the one they're expecting to do chairman. So when police or whoever stop me now and they're hailing me, I'm hailing you right back. I'm coming with more vim. Like, oh, I finished buying something, I'm walking out, they're gingering me, madam, hey, my guys, my chairman. I'm gonna hail you right back.
I feel like with our current economy, we're dying and we're like drowning, but we just don't know it yet. The hardest part is having your very close friends understand that you kind of need that space, and it's not about them, but it's more about you. It's like you're not saying it's not me, it's not you,
It's not you,
it's not me. So like, it's almost like but the closer they get to you, the more they understand that this is your process.
Yeah, sometimes I need to isolate. Yeah. I think isolation is a key part of surviving as an actor, but it also ties back to being so recognizable. People don't understand it. I want to quickly buy Aquafina water. Let me drive from my house to supermarket. I've not even reached my destination with my hair bonnet on my hair, maybe my pimple patches sucking one pimple. Somebody wants a selfie. Like, it's everyday life is harder for you to do because people recognize you. The regular things you can just do as, someone who has a 9 to 5 or whose job doesn't put them in front of the camera is different for us. I'm at the airport, they've delayed my flight 5-6 hours. I'm angry, but I cannot lash out
because you're Jemima.
You don't know where the camera is coming from. Next thing you see yourself on the blogs, Nollywood actress spotted at the airport sparking. Like naked
and they always have the right tags that actually don't really tell the full story.
They don't tell the full story, and
just
people
make you look like
forget that you're a
crazy
human
person.
being. You're a human being.
I used to feel one thing about like performance and acting for me is I've always wanted to be a great actor.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be popular. But it's almost like it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. You can't do one without the other. And I hate that. So I've been trying to find like the balance of like how can I still be me and still go out and be normal. Go and buy a car outside and nobody's going to worry. I still do that.
I was going to say, how do you do it?
I just wear my hat, I wear my shorts. You just look like everybody else and just go out. I do it. But for me, it's still, the day I realized, I think after like Crime and Justice was when I started realizing a lot of things like, okay, people will just be staring at you weirdly outside.
Yeah.
You could see that they want to say something, they want to say hi. I'll be asking myself, do I know this person from somewhere?
I don't know you. Why are you staring at me?
Then they come like, oh, hi, you're
the one from, yeah.
I'm like, oh, God.
That's how they know me.
But I think it's a good thing because that means you've actually portrayed and played that character so well that people don't see you, but they see the character.
The character you play.
Yes.
But it also comes with a lot of like, it's fame, fortune, more fame than fortune, if we're being honest, especially in Nigeria. But it comes with a lot of demand. Like, it's almost like you cannot, even when you're going through like regular stuff. That's why I was asking you, how are you able to still push and be regular? My own is by fire, by force. This celebrity title that you're giving me, I don't want. I don't want. We're all paying band aid together. That's why the slightest thing, I'm quick to lament about things. You get what I mean?
Power.
As much as it might not be pinching me like that, it's something that, crossed my mind. I'm going to talk about it. I want to be as relatable as possible because I don't want people to put me on a pedestal. I will jump down from it by myself. Gym membership has increased in price. I will lament about. Before you that you're even doing 9 to 5, you have complained. Jemima has complained on Twitter because you will never catch me on a. Let them not look at me with big eyes. Because anywhere you pull up to, guess what? You're the one everyone's expecting to tip everyone. You're the one they're expecting to do chairman. So when police or whoever stop me now and they're hailing me, I'm hailing you right back. I'm coming with more vim. Like, oh, I finished buying something, I'm walking out, they're gingering me, madam, hey, my guys, my chairman. I'm gonna hail you right back. I'll hail you right back because I don't want that responsibility.
Here's something I want to comment you about this. I don't like you like that, you know that already, but something that I think you do that I actually kind of like-ish is the fact that you don't keep quiet. Like when something is off and it doesn't feel right, you would say it. I've seen you being dragged down multiple times. In fact, there's sometimes you just had like an opinion that you had that was just your opinion.
My opinion.
And I'm like, but so again, that's another thing. I would see these things, but I cannot comment because sometimes
Not that you cannot. You'd rather
I'd rather not.
Yes.
Yes, because it's almost like you are actually giving these people more playing ground.
Yeah.
So yeah, but one thing, I mean, not all of us have that thick skin.
Because sometimes you have to remind them. Like, before I started acting, I was a student in Luth, College of Medicine in Mushin. Like, look, we're all living, as my opinion, as long as we're all living in Lagos, Nigeria, not just Lagos, Nigeria as a whole together, I personally refuse to be given a tag that somewhat removes me from everybody else, because at the end of the day, we're all living under the same conditions.
Sure.
So unless my life some way is exempting me from the suffering and the struggles and the headaches, we're sitting in Lagos traffic together, aren't we? We're paying this same, I'm going to keep going back to band A because honestly, I need them to move me to band B. I can't afford band A.
I mean, why can't we all be on band A?
I don't even want band A. I don't need
You don't want band B?
I don't want, at this point, I can even take C. As I have solar now, I don't really need, do you understand what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we're all living with all these things. We're all having to deal with the same, like, living conditions. How does it benefit me if people have more expectations of me, or if people see me as bigger than what I actually am? That's not to my benefit. And I'm not ready to live in anyone's narrative at my detriment. Honestly, if putting me on that pedestal is going to put billions of dollars in my account,
as we might as well just do
Beyonce, if that's what it means. But no, it doesn't. It doesn't increase the amount you're being paid as an actor. In fact, I'm pushing for that to happen now because cost of living, they attack the living. People are always talking about how cost of production has gone up.
True.
But as cost of production is going up, I hope you realize that the cost of my life and just living is also going up. Sure. So I understand it, and I want to be as empathetic to everyone producing as much as I can be. But just as it's costing you more to produce a film, it's costing me more to even just be alive and be here.
Do you think sometimes let me find a very easy word. Do you think sometimes they price we actors as like tomatoes in the market? Like, these producers actually do have the funding, but the intention don't want to give the actors
That's the case sometimes. Because here's something. I'm not going to call names, but I've been approached for a job by a producer. And I turned it down because obviously the amount did not work for me. I would rather not leave my house. You know how I am about my house.
True.
I'd rather stay at home.
We love our houses.
And then someone else on the project who was not like in front of the camera or on the production team, but it's like a silent investor, reached out and was like, this is the second time I've wanted you on my project and, it's not worked out.
When you found out the real
What's
price.
going on? I said, if you really want me on your project, you offer me bigger bucks. He's like, no, how much were you offered? I told him. He was furious. We've heard stories of where they offer you half. This amazing human being that God will continue to help me bless offered me 1/4 times, if what she offered me, multiply it by 4, is what they had budgeted for me. So it's not like the budget from the people that own the money did not account for me as an actor. By the time it had gone through several hands and gotten to me, it's not what I was supposed to get. And that's why being vocal sometimes is beneficial, because if I was the kind of person to shy away from conversations, or I'm afraid of somebody, I cannot tell you how I'm feeling, they would have cheated me. And also knowing your worth, because I could have agreed for that amount and done it for 3 times less. Well, I don't know the math. Is it 3 or 4 times less what I was supposed to be paid in the first place? So if somebody reaches out to me for work, my first go-to nowadays is to find out who the executive producers are and go and see who I'm chumming with.
So you see, that's the funny. So for me, I think from the premise of my career, one thing I said to myself is, I'm not going to work on any production if I don't feel like it, if I don't feel the energy, if I don't like the story. So I was very picky. In fact, at some point, people were saying that I was spoiled because if you know my foundation, I started from production first. So I was way behind the cameras before getting in front of the camera. So people were like, oh, he's spoiled because he already has a job, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I'm picky because I have a goal. Yeah. And I know where I'm going. And I think that's one thing that most actors sometimes don't really have the vision. You need to know what's your goal. Are you going for fame? Okay, great. So you want to go for red carpet, wear the clothes and that's it. Or are you going for, you want to be known as the person that has a lineup of work that is fantastic. That whenever you look
Solid
at your
work.
IMDb, it's just going to be like, oh, this guy has done really
Yeah.
great work. And for me, that was the main thing for me. It wasn't about fame. It was just about the fact that I felt I didn't want to fold my own hand. Basically, I wanted to look back in time and see like, oh, this is what I've done, and this is my growth, and this is where I am right now. And to be honest, I mean, we all have done the money jobs. I mean, we're in a country where, let's say,
You need the money
I've
jobs
learned,
sometimes.
I've said something to myself of late, because I realized that every day I wake up, there's something to complain about.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not going to complain, I'm going to be grateful. Because I feel like complaining is just going to, we will never stop. Because every day you wake up, there's something else.
There's something
Especially in Lagos, if trailer doesn't jam you, somebody would. So there's always a problem. So I've said, you know what, I'll be grateful instead.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be affected by whatever is happening around me.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try and create this sort of, what do I call, like thick skin or whatever against it or whatnot. But, yo.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
I want to go back to what you said about being able to be selective with the jobs that you do. You think that for people like us, there's like some level of privilege to it? Because Jammal, I wouldn't compare yourself or myself to the average Nollywood actor that has 2 kids and has a wife, is paying school fees, paying rent, and needs the big bucks, doesn't have the other side gigs, doesn't have the social media presence. I feel like another thing that actors need to, sometimes I feel some actors need to just smash stuff or let it out, is the fact that now it's like they're forcing every actor to be a social media content creator. It's like it's now you see that dance, you must dance on the internet. Why? They're forcing it's like if you're not an actor that has social media presence, we're not casting you because we need you to sell our film. That shouldn't be my job. How many times do you see Keanu Reeves when he's not on your screen as an actor?
Thank you, call Keanu Reeves. Now that's something. See, that's where good management comes in, right? I'll give you an example. So my management, I told them something. I said, see, I don't know how to dance. I'm a terrible dancer. I have 2 left feet. I can't do it. So a good manager will look at you and say, okay, so this is your personality.
Yeah.
How can we work with who you are to make you better? Not like, how can we push you to be every other person else?
Yeah.
Like, if you are doing a PR stunt for a film and you're going to be dancing, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be part of it. Unless I feel like the dance is something that I can do. I don't look stupid on screen. It's almost like...
It's also just maybe not your personality.
It is not. So I'm more of a very... You know me.
Yes.
I don't want to be laid back, chill and
Imagine
quiet.
someone casting
see.
and then we have to do this Falabam dance that I did 3-4 times.
I mean, it might trend because of how bad and terrible it's going to look on TV. So you get that might just be... But you see, that's the thing. With good management, that helps. And back to what you said about having privilege. I feel like... Do you remember we've worked hard for it?
We have worked hard. We know
do you know when we did Delivery Boy? We have worked. See, the thing is, sometimes we tend to forget how much work we've done, and then we're not grateful. You need to look back sometimes and see, you know what? I've actually worked hard. So you need to look at them and be like, see, I deserve what I have right now. So it's not privilege. It takes years. You know, I just realized that this is my 14th year in film.
Am I senior?
Yes.
You're an old man.
So it's like I mean, I started from picking cables around, and I mean, so it's almost like looking back, I'm grateful for where I am right now.
No, yeah.
Am I where I need to be? No, not yet. I feel like it's a journey.
Yeah.
Like you don't get there in just one step. Yeah, it's multiple steps before you get there. So yeah, so we've worked out. We deserve it.
How many years ago did we do Delivery Boy?
2015, 16?
That's 10 years next year. Or it's about...
Yes.
It's next year or the year after. So we're like, that's like 8 years ago.
And that's why I met this...
Do you want to talk about that?
Yes. But honestly though...
Struggle days.
I think Delivery Boy was whether we like it or not, it kind of made our careers in
absolutely.
One way or the other.
No, there's no denying that.
Because
absolutely.
it was the moment.
It was a very pivotal moment for both of us.
It was because the story, first of all, that story was way bigger than us.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it was way bigger than us, and I think we're so afraid to mess it up that we did it well. At the end of the day, I think it was the fear of we can't mess this thing up. It was almost like
There was
We
too
have
much
to-
of
yes.
the line. There was too much. You know, Nodash had, I don't know, you told me or Nodash told me, that was his third time shooting it.
Oh no, see, so before you came, I worked with two other female leads. And you know, he was directing, he was
Yeah.
producing, he was
He wore a
editing.
lot of hats on that.
Yeah, so he would go back, watch it, and I'm like, this doesn't really work for me. Then he'll recast. At some point, when it was like before you came, there was like a 3 month, 4 months break of silence. And I thought that maybe they threw me out too. So he recasted. I was like, I just felt like I was out of it. Then he calls and then he goes, oh, there's this lady Jemima, but I don't want you guys to meet.
Until,
Do you remember? Yeah.
That's
So
true.
our first scene, our first time you and I met was
keke.
at the keke. He made sure we didn't meet. Do you remember? I like his process.
That was poetic. I'm not gonna lie.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Because it was the first time the two characters met as well.
Yes, and it was the first time you and I met. So he
That's
wanted
very
he wanted that thing to feel so real for both the
Oh my
characters
gosh,
and
that's
for us
true.
as well.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, it was good.
That keke mara in
Yeah.
Yaba. I remember.
No, but those
Oh,
those
I
nights,
remember. Long night.
I think the whole film, we shot almost everything at night, right? Apart from
Yeah.
the morning where you go to.
It was mostly night scenes, and we were mostly like in Yaba.
It was Yaba environment,
Makoko, that
Makoko.
area.
It was
Yeah,
crazy.
it was crazy.
No, but that thing was crazy because I felt like I think that was actually the premise of our friendship. as
Yeah,
well.
we suffered
Because
together. No, she did what? She did what?
I remember
We
the
suffered,
hotels
we
we
suffered.
went to stay.
I can't call those things hotels.
I mean,
They were. What's the bottom of the food chain of what like paying for apartment?
they're like just tents with roofs.
I can't even call them hotels. Those were just is
What are
bed,
kilos
bed,
there?
no breakfast.
But
It was just bed.
sat through the night.
Remember, we were even supposed to spend the night. When we filmed till late, we were supposed to sleep at the guest house in Unilag.
Yeah.
We got there at like 6 a.m.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I think we sat on the bench.
We sat on the bench outside.
And
I was
then
like,
we were just talking
I'm just
to
gonna
you,
go
yeah.
home. There's no
Yeah.
point.
So and then you see this brings me back to, don't you think you deserve where you are right now? Looking back at how much work and effort you put into everything you've done.
When sometimes it's easy to forget some of these things. I forgot some of the things you just said now. I forgot some of these things.
Do you know we sat on the bench from 4 a.m. till 6:30 so that it could be morning. We sat down literally. I remember you just lay down here.
Yeah, we just
chatted
sat
till
there.
morning
We're
because
just
we were
chatting.
afraid to sit. The bed we saw the night before was in.
I was afraid. I'm like, if I didn't get bed bugs in Unilag Hostel, it would be crazy for me to come get it in the guest house. I'm just gonna wait and go home in the morning.
Good memories, actually. Good memories.
Yo, that
I mean,
was
if you look at yourself, so the Jemima of
then,
Delivery Boy,
2015, 2016.
and Jemima of now, what could you say have changed between those two people? What's changed? What's the most drastic thing that has changed between?
A lot has changed. First of all, I have better wigs. I wouldn't be me if I didn't say something stupid like that. But there's so much. I think when I started off, or in those early days, I had a lot of doubt because it wasn't my story of how I started acting is very random. It is the most random thing ever.
It's like mine.
I was in my first year College of Medicine diploma hall. There's like 750 people there. There's no light. I'm not even seeing the lecturer, talk less of hearing him or her. So I'm like, this cannot be the rest of the year for me. Let me look for something to just sharply do on the side. I was doing ushering jobs. I was like, yeah, this is not for me. People are rude. People are rude. I can't do this for much longer.
People didn't even know that. You were doing like...
I did think before I started acting, I just needed something to distract me from the chaos that was first year. And I sign attendance and I'm sitting in the back of the class. I don't even know what's going on. I'll get the notes later and catch up. What can I do that's productive with my time is what I was looking for. And I'd done a couple of ushering jobs. And my uncle's wife, Ike's wife, owns Kids Culture. She's like a big event planner for children's parties and different events. So I would go with her for ushering gigs and whatnot. And then we're at his house Christmas party one December. He's like, you talk a lot. You're always talking everybody's ears off. You should try something in shut up. You should try something in like presenting or something. And it was presenting I was actually going for. I'd gone to like audition for like presenting gigs and whatnot. That's what I thought I was going to end up doing.
We all did that.
And then he's like, oh, audition for this African Magic, they're doing like original films and, the Johnsons. I was like, why not? It was Tinsel I auditioned for. And I ended up on the Johnsons,
Tinsel.
I swear. And then from the Johnsons, you were there when I was auditioning. And from there, I got on the Johnsons, and then I had lunch with Owumi. Everything that I've been so, and that's why low-key, I might feel like I'm privileged because how it clicked is usually it feels like a stroke of luck for me. When it clicks, I now back it up with hard work. But it just clicking in the first place for me feels like luck. Because here's the thing, I had lunch with Omi, who was on MTV Shuga, and it was just casual bands. And I was like, oh, I would love to be on MTV Shuga. If you hear of audition notices or whatever, send my way, please. I'm not kidding. It was like 2-3 days later. She's like, oh, they're auditioning. Here's the email address to email, blah, blah, blah. This is what they're requiring. I sent it. I got a reply in another like 2 days or so. I remember my audition, bless his soul, B. Bandele, Bosse Oshin. I don't remember who the third person was. I walked in for that audition. I don't know how it went. I walked out not knowing, but as usual, I'm just winging it. Whether I get it or not, I'll go and do my ushering jobs or whatever.
That's actually the energy, funny enough.
Yeah, and I got the email that I got the gig, and that's where the hard work came, after. And I think about it as maybe this is where I say self-doubt. Always just fighting myself to say that I actually deserve this, or I worked for it. See me here trying to say, oh, but maybe I was just lucky enough. This is something that I would say the Jemima of Delivery Boy and Jemima of now still fight, because in my head I'm like, it could have been anybody else, but I got it. This is just luck. This is just, I'm just lucky. But at the end of the day, like you said, there's hard work.
There is.
There's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes.
Like for me, for instance, same thing. Acting happened as a mistake. So a friend of mine was going for an audition. He went late, so I followed him, and we went there. And then he had nobody to read with. They're like, oh no, you read with him. So we read together. They're like, okay, switch. I didn't even know what was happening. Because I was just like, okay, so we now switched. Then as we were leaving, they're like, oh, you to drop your name. I was like, I dropped my name. I just dropped it. So they called me.
Did they call your friend?
No. So I called him. No, but this one. So I called him immediately. I called him and I said, you guys just called me. How far? Then I said, they called me. He said, you better go. I said, no, I can't go because you didn't get it.
Yeah.
He was like, no, you should go.
Go.
And that's how I got my first
That's
gig.
a good friend.
Green, white, green.
That's a good friend. Oh yeah, Abba Makama.
Yeah, so that was actually my first ever on script. Do you know when I was so scared? I was nervous.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was just winging. It was more, I think it was trial and error for me. I didn't even know how to read my scripts. Mind you, I've been on sets, but being
behind
in front of the camera
is different.
Was a whole different, because I used to feel like it was so easy. But
a lot of people think
yes, that moment was that's when I realized how much work actors actually put into.
And that's why it's so easy for people to criticize actors. Every time a new movie or a new thing is released and I see the comments, I'm always on Twitter, even when I'm not tweeting anything. I'm seeing everything. And it breaks my heart because sometimes, even when it's not your own project, just based on someone that's on the project or whatever, you get to go to the set, you see how much work it is, you see how, and then you see people trash it online. People don't even from the trailer, they don't even wait to see the full thing yet. Just from the trailer of 1 minute or 1 minute 30 seconds, they've destroyed your hard work, they've put it 6 feet below I'm like, it's so heartbreaking because first of all, nobody's perfect at their job. I just want to put that out there. I know you that you're doing 9 to 5 customer care. If we're to analyze it and judge you based on the last 5 people that you did customer care for, you will not get 100 over 100. I don't know why we're not extended that much grace in filmmaking as well. I think it's a really hard
customer
job.
care people.
Yes.
Okay. I feel like this is the way it's for customer care.
I've had a few interactions where I'm like, do you know what? I don't know who owns this company, but I'm going to find them because I need them to know that this is how I was spoken to. This is how my situation was handled. Yeah, especially with airlines.
I was about to say, I think I know
the airlines. I won't call their name. I feel like people should just extend more grace. And I'm not even saying don't tell us the things we do wrong because obviously I've watched a project I was on recently. I will not call their name. I was watching it and I saw somebody's lapel mic. I said, yeah, they would drag us on Twitter. I just knew. But like, yes, even when we watch it, sometimes you miss these things because you know how editors work? They're watching something over and over and over. At some point, it becomes mundane. You're not even seeing any difference, which is why it's good when we have extra set of eyes. But when you now kick us and punch us and tell us go and die, it's really hard. So it'll be nice to get like more constructive criticism. We're doing everything that we can. You as an actor, for example, you know that there's only so much that's within your control, which is your acting and your character. How do you make sure that you're doing the best that you can do?
Inshallah vibes. So no, every character is unique. Every character is different. If there's anything I love about acting, I think there was one time in my life that I didn't want to be portrayed as an actor because again I was doing production more. And my friends would always say that. Now look at me. Anyways, it's almost like one thing about actors that I love is you can be anybody. They have a superpower. The superpower is you can live multiple lives in your one lifetime. That people, and that's if you do your job well. Because I'm not talking about surface actors. God bless their soul.
Yes.
I'm talking about people that actually put in the work. So, like, from my process, basically, like, for example, delivery boy, my uncle, Sunom, then I was like trying to understand how to get into this acting. And he said to me, this character is deep. Watch the whole film on mute and read the emotions and figure out what's happening in every scene. So I watched the whole film from beginning to end with no volume. And that is how Amir was created. Because Amir, everything about his decisions, his mindset,
you could see in his face.
So everything is right there. So that's how Amir was created. Like I said, every other character is unique in its own way. Danladi is. I also give credit to the directors because one thing we tend to forget is we are doing our own work, but the directors are also helping in. We're like clay, so they mold us into this shape. Not like they're not telling us what to do, but they're pushing us to the right direction. And so yeah, it's a collaborative effort basically. But like what I said, like every character comes in with its own unique. Piece. And funny enough, what I also realized is some emotions might not be the same, but you've been through it. So it's something that is most likely in line with what is happening at the same time.
You have something to tap into.
Yeah, tap into it. So I'll always tell actors, do everything. Surf, learn how to surf, ride a bike, swim, cry if you have to. I don't like to, there's something I said to myself this year. I said, I'm open to every emotion, whether it's pain, whether it's joy. Because I used to have this thing where I just block everything. But it doesn't help. Sometimes just let it be. Just let it flow. And it also helps with your performance. Because you wouldn't know when you're going to
It's not foreign to you, like, oh my gosh, does anyone cry like that? Does anyone actually feel like that? No.
So I'll ask you the same thing. So what is your process like? And how do you work on portraying these characters and bringing them to life?
First thing first, I have to read that script though. Definitely. Let me see the script and know whether it's something that I want to tie my name to or not. And that's not where it ends, because a lot of times I've seen where the script is amazing, but execution doesn't exactly do it justice. In which case, I know not to fault the script. This one is on us, the production itself, including the actor, production, location, everything else. But a good script, you can make a bad film from a good script, but no matter how great your production is, you can never make a terrible script into a great film. That's my personal opinion.
I agree. Totally agree.
No matter the magic, cast
the foundation of the film.
What do they call it? A-list actors. If it's a terrible script, it's a terrible script. So for me, the script is always a vital part of how I pick what I'm going to work on. If I read the script and I like it, there's times I've done gigs where I'm like, don't pay me. I just want to be a part of this project.
We've all done that, actually.
Yeah, I like the script enough to want to be a part of it.
Script, and then you look at who is producing.
Who else are you casting?
Who's the DOP?
That's my next question.
Who
are the other actors? Who's playing this character? Who's playing that character?
Very important.
Who's directing? What streaming platform are you putting it on? Because as much as I want to be a part of a good project, a good project is only a good, if nobody is seeing it, okay, I did a good project, nobody knows about it. True. Eyeballs. So where are you putting your project? Where is it going to end up? What are your plans for marketing? Like, how is your film going to push me as an actor and as a brand? Then how I get into character. One thing I like to do is add one or two of myself to characters.
Sure.
Like, or not, it doesn't even have to be of myself, just something. People might not notice it, but when I watch it, I'm like,
That's
my working. Like the character I played on Hijack 93, the air hostess, I made the makeup artist give her a mole. Bella, sorry for the stress I gave you on that job. We were drawing that mole after every cut because I did sweat. As I'm sweating, it's cleaning up. She's like, Jemima. I'm like, sorry, but it just felt really cool because something I know from that era, the 90s, is when the ladies do makeup, they want to like
it's funny
do
how
beauty
a
spots.
little detail will actually make you feel the character inside.
And I felt like it. And I was like, I know people might not necessarily notice it on screen, but it works for me. Every time you draw on that mole on my face, I feel like I'm back in the 90s. It was something that helped me as a person. So I always picked something that like helped me just feel like, especially when you're doing something that has to tie with a certain kind of character. For example, Naima in Beyond the Veil.
That was a fantastic character.
Thank you. She's one of my favorites.
I think that is one character that you went quite deep.
Thank you.
I don't like giving you credit like that, but I would say that show. I told you the day I actually. I don't know how I missed it on your page.
Yeah.
So I stumbled on it on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I binged on it. You remember I was calling you every time like, what's it like? It was so good. Yeah, it was so good. I was so excited. Also, I think for me, it was how the North was being portrayed.
Thank you.
I'm not seeing Boko Haram or people fighting. I'm actually seeing Northern people in their normal
real life. Yes.
So like, there's hurt, there's pain, there's joy. And those are things we don't really see. So I really love, and the way everybody on that cast is like they were handpicked. And I loved it. It was really good. The cinematography.
Yeah. The director, Nadine, she came to finish.
She's detailed, I can tell.
Very. Yeah. Nadine will come to set with, she's one of the only directors I've worked with that will come to set with like shots, not just like scenes. For every scene, she has like 30 angles, camera shots that she wants to get. So she will get close up from here, from there. She wants that one. She wants from the rear view mirror of the car. She comes with her shots like listed.
You can see it on screen already. That's why it's that good.
She's very detailed. And she made it easy for everyone to come into their character. Like for me, I told her, we're shooting something that's, Northern Arawa. There's restrictions based on what people believe it's supposed to be. Sure. But one of the things that she was awesome with was having conversations with us, especially for someone like me playing Naima. Naima was, I would say, the standout of the Northern girls because she wasn't very Northern in her behavior, her demeanor and everything, and her lifestyle choices.
Even her hair is out.
And that was a struggle for them to write because they didn't want it to look like we're showing Northern girls what they should not be. But I was like, instead of looking at it that way, look at it as representation for Northern girls that are trying to find their footing. No one is born a perfect Christian or a perfect Muslim. They're people on their way, trying to find themselves and discover who they truly are. And that's what Naima was. She wasn't doing things the exact picture-perfect Muslim girl, but there's women like that, and they deserve representation too. It doesn't mean that she won't get there, and even if she doesn't get there, I want to say it's fine, but I'm not saying it's fine based on...
Her life.
It's her life.
Yeah,
it's real life.
It's real life.
It's real life. There's people like that who struggle, also mental health, it was something that we had a lot of conversation about, and I like that the director gave me like the free roam to add bits and pieces to who she was or who she is as a character.
So something you said about her being collaborative with you, and allowing you to actually like trusting you enough to actually build that character. I think that's something that I have been lucky enough with most of the directors I've worked with. It first started with Abba Makamba. Then with Nodash, with Amir.
Yeah.
It got to a point where I knew Amir so well that Nodash created Amir. Yeah.
Hi, Jemima. Happy Sunday. What do you think Nkem will spend her Sunday morning doing? I'm like,
his process.
It's 8 a.m.
His process is. I think that's one person that needs to be studied.
Yeah, Nodash is brilliant. He's brilliant.
And I think that's also something that directors need to also learn to. Collaborate with the actors. Trust
Shout
actors
out to Naz. Nas, I can't wait for you guys to see what I've just shot with Nas. Nas literally writes the character and tells you, what do you think I wrote? As I've written it now, you've read the words. Tell me what you're interpreting it as.
Love that.
Oh my gosh, working with Nas, especially on this last project I worked on, like I had butterflies in my belly. I can't wait for it to come out.
See, these are things that actors should be saying.
Yeah.
Because I have also worked with some directors that would want you to just work
like a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on screen you'd see it. There's something that told me one time. He said that you can never lie to your audience.
Yeah.
So if you don't feel it,
they are not gonna feel it.
They're not gonna feel it as well. So yeah, collaboration is actually very important. Question though. The next 5 years. Where I think I know, but where are we gonna see Jemima?
Do you know
Also, what are your aspirations? What are you looking forward to? What is the next step for you?
No, I want to hear where you think you're going to see Jemima in the next 5 years.
You want me to tell them?
Say it.
Let me say it out.
Say it. I want to know where your head is at.
So,
yeah.
I can't even see. I can't do it.
You know I have a brand.
That's the problem.
I can't say the things I want to say to you now.
I can't say it. Because see, if they meet us outside.
They can't meet us outside. You will never. It's because of you. I can't. Have you seen that we don't go out in public together? Because you make me reveal my real face.
FYI, before Jemima came here, she was like, she told Demi Brown, the producer.
What did I say?
That they should bring security. And I was actually, I agreed on that because we could have ended up fighting.
Demi told on me.
If you did. I'm shocked that we haven't fought yet. But I'm sure that we'll agree on food. Actually. But we talk a lot, so that's
no, but it's not the same as physically being in the same space.
I know.
And it's different from hanging out with your other friends that are like non-active friends. True. And that's another thing. I feel like a lot of my friends are not like in the industry.
It's actually fine.
Which is great.
I'll tell you, see.
It's necessary because it's necessary. It's necessary, but let me go back to what you asked.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Where do I see myself, or what's my plan for the next 5 to 10 years? I'm going to say a lot of things. Not spoilers, exclusive details you can only get on Running Lines. Never said anywhere else, even on my personal blog, aka Twitter. I'm currently studying to get my master's in public health because I've now seen the big picture that acting is for everybody, it's national cake, and as you can see with national cake, it cannot satisfy everybody. It can't satisfy everybody. So shut up. So as an actor or an influencer, that cannot be your only gig because it's everybody else's gig. You have to find something else.
But I'll tell you something. You're not just everybody.
You're not just everybody. I get it. And there's brands that tap into that and look at the longevity.
Yeah.
But shout also out to the brands I work with because I don't. Any brand I'm working with now, I've been with at least 2 years. Some 3, some 4. Like long-term relationships. People that see the longevity and the end point, right? Thank you, baby. Thank you. Uti is going to be shocked when he watches this. Uti is going to be shocked. He'll say, hey, did he fight? She didn't potty on him.
It's behind the scenes somewhere.
We're being on our best behavior. But yeah, I've seen that can be the only gig. So I'm diversifying, but also like going back to my first love, which is healthcare, but in a way that is different from just doing a 9 to 5 and being in the hospital. So yeah, you're definitely going to see more things in maternal health with me. You see more things around obstetrics and gynecology, women's reproductive health, especially in line with working with NGOs. You see more things in definitely the healthcare sector, public health, because that's what I'm getting my master's in. I'm starting something called Mima's Medical Mondays that's going to be on my platform. I don't know yet if I will enter YouTube. I honestly don't know. But for now, it's going to be on my social media platforms where it's like bite-sized episodes showing healthcare, but not just talking about it. I'm actually going in hospitals to show you the process. If I'm talking about sickle cell, I'm talking to you while treating a patient with sickle cell and things like that, the process and seeing what it's practical. Also exclusive to Running Lines. Me, I want to marry. I know that people are like, with the name. I tweeted it one time about how, I should have gotten a 10-year passport, but because I thought I was going to get married and change my name.
You were dragged for that.
And people came and I'm like, you people are not smart.
I was like, that's your opinion.
Do you think saying I will change my name means I will change my Instagram handle? Don't be a dimwit. I'm talking about inconsequential places. Do you know that a Nigerian woman that bears a name different from her husband and children? First of all, when I have children now, based on Nigeria unless there's a conversation. The children are having their father's name. That's what it is. If I want to travel with said children that I don't even have yet,
you have to take the father's permission.
Somebody will be writing me permission to travel with my children. Are you kidding me? We're not tackling the things that are the actual obstacles. You're tackling the decision that is being made because I don't want to have to deal with all that nonsense. Do you get what I mean?
Sure.
So me changing my name rather has nothing to do with my brand. My Instagram is always going to be Jemima Osunde. My branding, end credits in movies. I'm talking of where it matters. Do you know the process of changing your name to get an international passport?
How is that the problem?
It's not. It's even minus all these obstacles. It's a personal decision.
Yeah, so it's really nobody's business.
Marriage is something I aspire to. It's something I want. I want a good marriage. My parents have been married almost 40 years now. All my older siblings are married. Like it's not even just because of anybody else. It's something I enjoy companionship. Like it's something I want. And I want to have children, and I don't plan on having children with just any random. Do you get what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so in the next 5 to 10 years, it's something I'm hoping will happen for me. Now, it's not a do or die. It's not like my life will end if it doesn't happen. I will carry on with everything else I'm doing and even more. But it's something that if it's an add-on that is in the picture for me,
perfect.
I'm more than happy to take it. So maybe in 5 years, I'll be doing this interview with Jemima Jr. I will never name my child that. I'm sorry, that sounded ridiculous.
Yeah, it sounds like a mini
Jemima Jr. No. She'll have her
not creative at all. I mean, you're not that creative.
But yeah, that's it. Work, diversifying. It can't just be film and influencing. It's not enough. I've seen that it's not enough. And so, yeah, healthcare is coming back. There's already skincare, which is something that I had to diversify into for other reasons. But yeah, I just know that with me, it's never just I don't move in one straight line.
You're a Taurus.
You understand it. Yeah. So there's always going to be something. I don't even know.
Kind of all over the place.
All over the place in a good way.
Yes. Yeah, so see, all over the place in a good way. See, I also think that's one thing. I realize that, I mean, I'm not so big on star signs, but I kind of understand them. It's all about energy.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that we connected with immediately. We didn't even know. But we're just like,
why does he understand me?
Yeah, so
why does she understand me?
Yeah.
And guess what? Some people will watch this now to trend and they'll say we're dating or that we've dated. Get ready for it.
That's a business. I don't like it.
Get ready for it. I'll send you screenshots of the tweets because I know you're not on Twitter. It's not the first time.
I'm more on Twitter, but I only tweet during politics, during elections.
We've heard it multiple
I mean, like, I know that's the whole time I just go on Twitter to like see when the people are fighting for their rights and whatnot. I mean,
no, it only lasts for a couple of weeks.
I know, sadly.
Yeah.
Just like everything in this country. It trends for like 1 week and then it's down.
Well, what can we really do? Anyway, what are you going to be doing in the next 5-10 years?
That's quite interesting. My life, as you know, is very random, but also like defined in a way. Thank God to being raised by multiple women. Thank God to that. I'm an empath. One major thing I really want to do, like even if you check my Instagram, it's changing the world one person at a time.
Yeah.
I would love to find a way to make things better for people. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but that's kind of like my vision for. I feel like my what do you call it? English is hard. Jesus Christ.
It's okay.
My purpose in life. Thank you.
You needed expo for purpose, guys.
Even
it's not even a big word.
So I think my purpose in life, I found what my purpose is. It's basically to make things better for people. I don't know how.
Did you just find that out now? I've known that about you for years. You could have asked me.
No, Jemima, you always like to know.
Shut up! You could have asked me.
We only collect on food.
The humanitarian side of you is very like.
No, because I feel like I see a lot of suffering, and I feel like that's something, and that kind of probably happened because I was raised by women. From my grandmother to my mom to multiple friends that I've had around me, and that, and also, I kind of really don't like the way production is being done in Nigeria. I feel like the crew is really being
overlooked.
Yes, and they're not treated nicely because you end up having 1 face, 2 face, 3 faces taking the whole film and forgetting about the crew, and they're not even earning that much. I feel like there are things we need to change. I feel like there are budgets that we can actually afford to make everybody comfortable and happy. And people just want to be greedy, and so I would love to run a production company that actually changes the narrative, that makes things better. I don't care about not earning anything. For me, it's just all about people being happy and earning, getting royalties, owning this content that they actually make, being proud of it. You get so investing in the industry. The crew, without the crew, you can't have a good film.
You can't have a good film.
I always tell people, I said that if your crew is not happy, you see it in your film.
Yeah.
Camera will shake, something will move.
Light will flicker.
Yeah, but you see, but when they're happy, it's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
The bare minimum that actually makes things happen. And I'm just happy. I think sorry.
You get emotional. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. It's okay.
That coming from you is insane. But moving forward swiftly, I feel like it just takes one person to do the right thing, and everybody would
mirror that
and tune into it. And the so-called bad seeds, nobody will go to them anymore.
So humanitarian work and production.
And production, definitely. Like, I mean, this is what I'm doing right now. So, and I love it in acting. I would love to portray characters that I feel inside.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't want to stop. And the thing about, I was going to tell you something that you said earlier. You see that what you're doing right now is going to open more doors.
Amen.
And as it's going to open more doors, you would have all the other things you're looking for.
Amen.
So
you're praying for me, Loki.
I am.
Amen.
I am. I pray for you always. I pray for you always. I pray for you always. I pray for you always.
Just your prayer.
Every time.
This is the first time you pray for me in 10 years.
Drink before you have. How many years of bad?
No, okay. Look me in the eye.
Look,
look me in the eye. I know they for that one.